Welcome back, everyone. Coming up next is a powerful panel on decoding the talent economy through the lens of hyper personalized employee experience. For this, we're joined by my very dear friend, moderator, and guide, Dr. Ramon Segismundo, CEO and founder, 1HRX. Let me invite Dr. Mon to moderate the session. Mon, over to you. We are all set on this for this exciting conversation.
Welcome to the panel discussion on decoding talent economy with hyper-personalized employee experience. And with me, I have three of my esteemed colleagues who will serve as panelists. First, I'd like to introduce Mharicar Reyes, President and CEO of Asticom Technology. Mharicar. Also with me is Fides V. Tanay, who is the SVP and Group Chief HR Officer of SM Prime Holdings Inc. Fides. And Agustina Samara, Chief of People and Corporate Strategy at Dana. So it's great that we're together here. Okay, and just to provide everyone with a context, well, welcome to the talent economy. And what I'd like to do is to define it and answer the question, what does it take to win? So the talent economy, by definition, is a collaborative, technology-driven, rapid cycle way of doing business. It consists of the talent ecosystem composed of course, employees, contractors, freelancers, and increasingly, people with no formal ties to your enterprise at all. So that's the talent economy. But really, the question is, what does it take to win? And essentially, two things. One is to challenge the core assumptions about how people will work together, enter the workforce, and how to fully develop their potential. Second, it means developing new frameworks that allow organizations to embrace these changes instead of falling behind. Hi, Kai. It's no secret that attracting and retaining top talent is not the only thing, right? But building a deeply engaged workforce, which is the foundation of organizational success, really is the ultimate key. So, how do you go about understanding employee expectations in a hybrid reality with the end in view of bridging the so called expectation gap? Okay.
Great. Thank you. Great question, Mon. And thank you again. No, actually, just last week I attended another panel talking about employee experience or employer value proposition. So in that forum, we said employer value proposition is an entire program supporting the organization's vision, mission, and purpose. It should actually define the support and the recognition and values that our employer provides to employees, no, to achieve their highest potential at work. So they said the EVP should define the employee experience journey, not just only attracting, acquisition, engaging, but even growing, developing, up to exiting. There's even one additional category that we've added, which we call bridging, which includes connecting our employees to a bigger network beyond the organization and company. So we said by clearly defining and asking the experience for each of the employee touch point, we can then address that expectation gap, especially in the hybrid reality we are into today. And that will also help sustain us, no, and the business for the future. So going beyond employee experience, expectations are the basis of an employee satisfaction and dissatisfaction. So that being the case, it is crucial that we connect with our employees and understand their motivations deeply. So in a hybrid reality we're working in now, it's equally important to have the right technology and systems to do so. And with the use of technology, organizations should be able to, one, set achievable and realistic goals with the use of information and analytics. Two, communicate clear expectations to employees using clear performance management systems with a well-defined KRAs and KPIs. And lastly, hold regular discussions and evaluations and reviews using multiple collaboration channels. So one as simple as using pulse checks, diba? And survey checking on employee performance and motivation, that will definitely help the organization. So employees will clearly define expectations, have a thorough comprehension of their roles in the organization, which will then lead to higher productivity and better performance.
Okay, thank you, Kai. So I've taken note of what you've said, right? That it's got to be end to end. There's got to be bridging. Pay particular attention to touch points with the end in view of connecting and engaging with everyone to ensure full motivation and commitment. Thank you very much. Fides, today where attrition is high and opportunities are many, you've heard about the great resignation or the great attrition. How can organizations create an experience that enables their people to thrive and help unlock their productivity and really create competitive advantage for their organizations?
Yeah, thank you, Mon, for that beautiful question. Employee experience is all about creating an organization where employees want to show up versus the need to show up. Employee experience is all about happy employees, happy customers. As the HR guru Dave Ulrich shared to all of us, HR's most important value right now is to create a business that will succeed in the marketplace. So there are three ways to differentiate employee experience that would provide an awesome result to the customers. So that's talent, organization, and leaders. Talent, we need to deliver talent innovations. It's really what Kai mentioned earlier, unleashing the highest potential of the greatest asset of the organization, which is the people, which will define the competitive advantage of the org. So there's a wrong notion that to be a great place to work for, you have to offer the outstanding company perks only. So that mindset is outdated. Employees began looking beyond the material things or material offerings. It is now focusing on the basic need. Employees are more powerfully motivated by feelings rather than material things. Employees want to be treated as human beings, not workers. So, making employees feel cared for financially, physically, emotionally are very important. So, there are three ways. Yeah, every time we discuss talent, it's competence, commitment, and contribution. When we say competence, it's getting the right people with the right attitude, putting them in the right seats, and making sure the passion and productivity will be at its peak. In SM, the talent management experience is all about recruit right, perform right, develop right, reward right, and engage right. So every moment must be able to be meaningful. So, from upgrading the skills in terms of agility and innovation, those are the things that are relevant. Those are the things that we did during the pandemic, and we focused on. We capitalized on coaching and mentoring too, and when the businesses were down, we also focused on investing heavily on talent repurposing. What other capabilities do they have that we need to look for? Next is the commitment. Commitment is putting greater emotional response and engagement to them. It's really creating a playground, if you may, hot culture, honest, open, trusting, and transparent. So we needed to connect more to them, not only professionally, but more so personally. So listen with the heart, empathy. It's really about putting their putting them at the very heart of what we do. Okay, and then contribution is finding purpose in your work, belief, become, and belong. So when we say belief, it's really trying to articulate what is the purpose that we have in the organization. Our hashtag actually in the organization is pride in our purpose. It's really about live to serve, serve with your heart, and happy to serve, if you may. In terms of the malls, we make sure that we take care of our customers. SMDC is about residential. Of course, we should always be there, approachable to the customers. And then become is all about creating a mindset, a growth mindset. Okay, so right now, what we did was to initiate and empower the employees to create their own career global path system in the organization. So gone are the days when you just wait for your boss to promote you. So now we are empowering them and giving them the right tools. And last but not the least is belong. Belong is choosing to be transformational, transcending from your transactional work to a heroic purpose bigger than yourself. So being part of that, serve and lead with your heart, being resilient, being out there. So what happened during the pandemic? We made sure that we showed up. So during the rapid testing, we were there, vaccination even, and even booster, and during the typhoon in the Philippines. So we made sure that the employees are invested in the company's purpose, okay, including the ways in which we interact with the larger world. Now, second, I talked about organization. When we say organization, it's really creating about the right organization, market-oriented ecosystem that capitalizes customer experience. As the Harvard Business Review study done by Jacob Morgan, who's a specialist on employee experience, he revealed that there's a direct correlation between investing in the right employee experience and impressive returns. So employees who chose to invest heavily on employee experience was able to expect, okay, 4 times earnings or profits, if you may, rather than the companies who are not investing in that. So if I may just share in our company during the pandemic, so we capitalized on COVID care, rapid testing, vaccination. So we did not only take care of the employees, but more so we look at the entire ecosystem in the markets that we serve. So, for example, in the malls, so from the employees, we took care of their dependents too. We took care of the contractors, meaning the janitors, the security guards, even, okay, and then the customers. And we even partnered with the LGUs. So, the vaccination efforts, creating a herd immunity is not only within the employees, but more so the entire nation. So other than that, during the pandemic, when businesses really down, what we did was to waive all the rental fees. And when businesses started to pick up, that's when we said they can start paying only percentage of whatever income that they were able to do. And again, transforming from a brick and mortar structure, we said that we will move now to an SM malls online. So we did it in the entire ecosystem from the employees to the janitors to the tenants, and ultimately it will benefit our customers. So the overarching message is no one gets left behind. We are in this together. And last but not the least is about the leaders. It's really developing the leadership brand. Every leader is responsible for the employee experience. So the call is for the brave leaders to see potential not only in people, but more so in processes and having the guts or courage to develop them. The call is for them to develop brave leaders who are better than them, who are able to articulate and live out the purpose and the values of the organization. So what we were able to articulate is we need to show up. We need to be brave during the pandemic, be there where it mattered most. So ultimately, alignment is key in employee experience. So from corporate values, employee experience, customer experience that are woven together, they'll make sure that you will be able to have happy customers and happy employees. So the Gallup employee experience research showed that when the mission and the purpose resonates with the heart of the employees, then more likely they're able to thrive not only professionally but more so personally. So from the boardroom to the front line, the team should be able to anchor on the values so that they were able to build a heart that is resilient, heart that's full of passion and grit, that they're able to resonate with the purpose, which is to serve. Serve. We live to serve happy customers because in SM, the philosophy is working together with a happy heart. As the company grows, we want our employees to grow with us because at SM, we are a family. So thank you, Mon.
Thank you, Fides. So it's great to know that SM is doing all these things, right? And you really got it all, right? Uh, you mentioned talent, organization, and leadership are key. You talk about competence, commitment, right? And contribution as crucial. And of course, what really resonated with me is the fact that it's about human beings, right? And not necessarily workers. So thank you very much, Fides.
Thank you, Mon.
Hi, Tina. The
Hi,
biggest
Ramon.
challenge, as you know, right? The biggest challenge, Tina, of the growing digital economy is building a digital ready workforce in an ever evolving business environment. So, how are you going about it in Dana, defining what work will be done, how it will be done, and by whom? Perhaps you could give us some insights on that.
Yes, thanks, Raymond, for that great questions. Actually, I just want to give a context first because Dana in Indonesia, right? So, managing talent in this era is totally different, especially during this FUCA and pandemic situations. And from Indonesia, I'll give you a little bit of context that managing workforce here because of the great resignations and all the mental burnout issues and everything, the turnover is really crazy, around 20 to 30% of the startup. And Dana, because it's considered as a startup, so we are also in the challenging moment to maintain our good talent on that part. And the brutal fact about the issues right now is about the high turnover rate that I mentioned earlier. And the common problem right now is talking about the mental health issues, the because they work repetition tasks at home without human interactions, screen to screen, like 8 to 8 12 hours in a day. And then in these young people, they have a high risk appetite, right, to try something new. So the turnover is high because they want to have an explore and exposure mode to try something new, and then they are not quite patient enough to wait for 1 year or 6 months to get the promotions. And so many options as well for living right now, because not always they have to work in the big company as an employee, but it's a very easy to find through online shop, becoming a gamer, becoming an influencer to have an income, right? So with that kind of a context, I'm managing 800 of people in Dana, and then 60% of them is technology peoples, and 70% is around 26 years old. So managing that talent in the digital era, actually we go into the a lot the hybrid working styles during this pandemic, and I think that will become our new norms right now. And then talking about their clear career path to make sure that if they want to try something new, if they want to try something good, then we have a counseling and coaching sessions, one-on-one session to managers, so they understand that we are taking care of them. So the explorer mode can be inside rather than outside. And then talking about the burnout itself, we campaign in terms of the well-being and resilience skills, because well-being is not talking about the mental health only, but we campaign in terms of mind, body, and soul, because we believe that if your mind is a positive, your body is also there, and then the soul is needed to maintain your adaptability quotients and also the spiritual and emotional intelligence. while handling all those things to maintain and retain our good talent. We do like customized individual learning because they think that they are entitled and they already smart enough to know everything, right? But I think one of the a great feedback that we did to our employee that they like to choose their own learning path. So we allow them to choose one or two modules, and then we give them the personal budget so they can choose their own appetite of learning. And talking about the pandemic and the FUCA era that changing at all the time, so we have a kind of a organization development sanity, which is a 6 month. We need to review whether our manpower is there or not, and we need to switch and sweep all the role and responsibility to cope with some of the people's resign and some of the people we need to promote and make more responsibility to cover the vacant positions. I think that's it from me. Back to you, Raymond.
Well, thank you, Dana. I thought those were really great nuggets. In response to the question. So you're saying that as far as Dana is concerned, the next normal is hybrid, and you've outlined clear career paths that you're looking at well-being, mind, body, and soul, not only mental health, and that you're talking about customized individual learning, just to name a few of the many exciting initiatives that you're taking. So that's great, Tina. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Raymond.
Okay, Kai. We're now in the second round, and I'd like to ask you really a key question that I've been wanting to ask you. So, from where you sit, how are you engaging your workforce, right, to build capabilities to be able to service your clients? So, how are you driving the your learning agenda in this hybrid world, not only for your own organization, but for the key clients that you serve?
Thank you, Bon. Yes, a very difficult question to answer, but very, very important. So, for me, learning agenda should start from the top. No, I always say to my team, we need to have that growth mindset, no, in order for us to deliver innovation for our customers and of course for our employees. And that innovation should start with the learning mindset. So at Asticom, we're actually driving our learning agenda on through promoting self-driven online and hybrid learning through the use of different learning platforms. So today we actually utilize a learning platform which we call Space, no? Space like the space, SPACE. It's an Asticom online learning platform that helps our employees discover and develop their skills and competencies. This is actually offered to all 4,800 employees of ours to help them enhance their skills even beyond their current roles. It is also part of our individual KPI, including myself, to complete a minimum of 24 to 40 training hours yearly. So that learning culture is really very important, and this should be supported at the top level of the organization. On top of those learning platforms, you also utilize, which I think is the most effective one. Actually, prior to the pandemic, Mon, I myself is doing this directly with their teams, which we call immersions. So we are servicing multiple industries in the telco, fintech, logistics, and e-commerce. So technically, just like Fides, no, we really didn't stop even during the lockdown. So we utilize immersions by doing on-site learning through our different businesses and subsidiaries. So we are very deliberate in understanding what each of the roles and the functions are doing. For example, in one of our subsidiaries, Fincy, which is actually a fiber rollout company for telecommunications company, in order for us to understand what they really do is we really had to go on site and understand what our fiber rollout team is doing. No, so I had to learn splicing and dicing of the fiber in order for me to understand what those engineers are actually doing. So that deliberate immersion is also very important, which also gives me, management, and the human resource team the opportunity to see talents, no, on ground, and really understanding what would be the next possible opportunity they may have. So I always tell my team, our engineers today who are doing the fiber rollout will never be forever engineers. I would like them to grow to where they are, to become the team leaders and the operations manager. And in order for them to grow within the organization, it's very important that they be given the opportunity, the ad hoc roles for their own development, and also provide them with the competencies required in order for them to move to the next level. So, like what you talked about earlier in your opening, which is very, very important, we need to start rethinking the way we give work to our employees because they are doing it. Diba? The talents are demanding so much from us employers that they rethink work. No, why are they doing it? How are they going to do it? And where will they do it? So they're looking for more purpose driven companies today. So for me, it's important that we invest on our talents, provide them the right opportunity aligned with their personal vision and purpose, which is the why. Define the future of work, may it be hybrid or remote setup, allowing them that flexibility and movement from what they're doing today to whatever future role they may be aiming for. And lastly, support them with tools and technology that will make them work efficiently and effectively, which is the how. So it's a journey we all have to go through, Mon. But I think as long as we're very clear about that purpose and that objective and that culture within the organization, I believe everyone else will follow.
Thank you very much, Kai. I'm very much inspired by what you've said, right? Regarding, that it has to start from the top, that we need a growth mindset across the organization, an online learning platform that's available to everyone, a metric called training hours, and of course, immersions, right? It's got to be on the job. So I think I'll probably make a beeline to Asticom, right, for my manpower needs. Thank you. Now,
Okay.
Fides, you've talked a lot about the employee experience being a journey, and that a company like SM may have a great employee experience rating today, but if not properly sustained, obviously it has the potential to go up and down, right? So how do
Right.
you exactly measure employee experience from your vantage point, Fides?
Thank you, Mon, for that question. So, SM was not immune from the great resignation. As part of the people rebuilding strategy that we did, we initiated the following that help us actually achieve 90% top talent or high potential retention. There are four key things that I just like to share. Number one is talent repurposing and upskilling. So the top priority at that time is life and job preservation. So when businesses are down, like the cinemas, the malls, we had to focus on the potential and possibilities of people. So from a specialist, for example, from a porter, sales clerk, so we invested heavily on training them to be more of a generalist. So now they can be, a customer experience officer. And then continuous work design and role review. So every organization or every department, we had to look how they are structured. Are they still relevant? Are they agile? Are they able to achieve the purpose that we wanted? So for example, accounting, they were decentralized before. Now we invested heavily on systems, infrastructure, and now we centralize them. Now for the IT, it's the flip side. So before it was centralized in the head office. So what we did this time is to decentralize them per BU. So they are more in touch with the businesses, they can serve better, and they can transform digitally. And then last would be holistic well-being programs. So we had to intensify a lot of learning and development programs across and provided even wellness opportunities. So that was something that's big, very to become mindful of our employees. So we partnered with our HMO. We even have an outsourced company who's readily available 24 by 7. So the COVID response was really fantastic. Now, talking about our talent management experience, so we wanted to create a talent management experience where we measure every experience. So from the recruitment is getting the right talents with the right attitude. So at the onset, we already created the survey for the new hires, the onboarding, how was the interview. We created all those so that we can get feedback, so that we continuously improve how we can do interviews and the onboarding. Start prime or the orientation. So every step we had to do a lot of connecting, asking feedback, reaching out to them. And we even created a 60-day, 90-day kamustahan, or we asked how was their onboarding experience after 60 days. Perform Right is all about creating a culture of high performance, grit, and execution. This is talking about performance management, equipping them. Do they know what are expected from them, their KPIs? So we had to again recalibrate and put them available digitally. Okay, and then we had a lot of mentoring and coaching logs, if you may. So more interaction, more leading with the heart, leading with empathy. Develop Right, learning pathways, measuring the training hours. And last but not the least is Engage Right, working together with a happy heart. What did we do? We created the employee engagement survey internally. Okay, it was digitally produced, and then we had a lot of town halls, HR circles. So a lot of opportunities to really get feedback from the employees where it mattered most. So we take to heart every feedback because we believe that feedback is a gift. So we connected, we listened to them, and then we even equip our line managers to lead with the heart. So, three of the critical things that we found during the employee experience survey that we did, one is on engagement, operational efficiency, and well being. On engagement, it talks about the overall goals of the organization. So, if I may just share with you, when all organizations were doing work from home, okay, of course, at the onset, we were doing rotation manning, but later, we tried to we took a tough call, okay, tough decision, if you may, that we need to work on site because the industry that we live in is all about attracting people to go to the malls for their essential needs, to visit the residences, okay, the hotels and convention centers which were actually hubs at that time. So we had to go out there. We need to be brave. We need to serve our customers. So that's how it was. And that particular decision resonated with them that everything is aligned, right? And then so from there, as mentioned earlier, we did the vaccination, the booster, the national ID, the passport. So we want to be there where it mattered most, not only to the employees, but more so the customers. Operational efficiency, we also tried to relook what are the different efficiencies that we had and then put them on a different platform. If we can simplify, digitize everything, that's quickly what we did. And most importantly, we created an idea bank. Idea bank is really getting the feedback from the employees, whether you are a rank and file, a janitor, to a top level. If you have brilliant ideas out there, please be brave, share them. So we recognized them, we celebrated wins, and we actually gave rewards for whatever innovative ideas that they were able to come up with. So all these things, we also did concentrate on the well-being. Okay, so every now and then we would check on the employees, how they are. We created webinars, COVID care programs, and whatnot. So at the end of the day, it's really weaving the B prime values that we have: talent management, employee experience, and customer experience, which enabled us to have happy employees and happy customers. So we are just so blessed. Even if others chose to leave us, there are a lot of people who continued to stay with us, and they serve with a resilient heart. They're able to provide happy customers with the basic needs. They were able to serve from their hearts. So together we brave the pandemic, and we will forge forward to rebuild and reconnect and recover. So we are in this together, working together with a happy heart because, as our philosophy goes, as we grow, we want our employees to grow with us because at SM, we are a family. So thank you, Mon.
Thank you, Fides. You've got it all again, right? So what really resonated with me that you do a lot of process metrics, you do a lot of real-time listening, and you do this organization-wide employee experience survey, right? And that's how you engage your employees in terms of real time conversations that allows you to really focus on the key initiatives that would really spell a difference. So thank you, Fides.
Thank you, Mon.
You know, Tina, in this new talent economy, I think the desired outcome are really emotionally invested and fully motivated employees. I'll just be very interested to hear about your breakthrough innovations or strategies that you have deployed at Dana to achieve, what we call as hyper personalization or mass customization of employee experience. And you've already mentioned it previously, but I'd like to hear more about the specific strategies that you have embarked on.
Yes, yes, thank you. So I like to share about that one too. So talking about the employee experience strategy. So in Dana, we focus into the employee experience is a pre-boarding, onboarding, and also during the flight. Yeah, or when they working in the company. So when we do the pre-boarding employee experience, that we sell our EVP. Talking about that, Dana is a local Indonesians, but we are a global quality. So we want to be an employer of choice. So the sales pitch will be we hire the good people to become a great talent to building this cashless society in Indonesia. So and from there you can give the social impact and giving the meaningful impact for Indonesia. So we sell that kind of thing. So everyone, the young people who really want to give an impact for their life, they will work in Dana. And during the onboarding, we also have like orientations program and everything. And because of this pandemic, we need to be really creative and innovative to welcome them. So we have kind of a 90 clubs meaning that within this 3 months period we have a one-on-one meeting, a Zoom meeting, so they cannot feel alone at home. So they have kind of communities they can talk one and another and know about the Dana itself. And during the when they already pass probation within these 3 months, how we make sure that they engage and they understand our job. So we have kind of mentoring sessions and also the community based sessions to make sure that we also managing their heart to work in Dana, not only asking them work hard, but also how they really love to work in Dana as a second home. And talking about the burnout things, because that's the issues right now, screen to screen, right? So we apply like a work from office quota. It's meaning that not everyone should come to the office every day, but you can have your coordination time, you can deal with the team whatever you want, and then but we encourage you to come to the office for the effective coordination time, because we encourage them and emphasize them that human interaction still needed, because we have kind of a teamwork and the team spirit there. And I also apply no meeting day. Every Friday half day in Dana, bi-weekly, we ask them no meeting to make sure that they do housekeeping, they can clean up the emails, and they can uh, take a rest, because everyone complain about the Zoom to Zoom meeting for 12 hours, right? So we implement the no meeting days. While talking about the technology one, I applied the three category is a people, process, and technology to combine as a holistic approach to drive the culture. So meaning if we buy something new things for the technology, but we need to also change the process accordingly and make sure that the people have the agile and technology mindset for this kind of things. So the people, process, and technology is needed, and we embed it in each quarter and each project to always think when you innovate something, when you create something, you need to think from these three spectrum to be able to have a holistic and winning result. That's from me. Back to you, Dr. Raman.
Thank you. That's really amazing. It's exciting how you've tried to look at it from the lens of the employee, right? In terms of the life cycle, you mentioned pre-boarding, onboarding, and the flight itself. Looking at, that 90 days probationary period and the ongoing mentoring and coaching. Looking for burnout situations, and looking at it holistically, right? That I think between a happy employee, a productive employee, not so happy, not so productive, it's about looking at the entire context in terms of people, process, and technology, whether they're equipped with the tools, whether they've got the right processes. So I'm just amazed at how Dan is able to do it, and the way
Yeah,
he did it is very really spot on in terms of making sure that we manage our employees well. Thank you.
yeah. Thank you. Thanks. I think I want to add one more because I think that's the important part that I missed earlier. Is that because this digital era, the young people, millennial and zillennial, they work on the technology basis, right? Laptop to laptop and doing programming. So we want to sharpening their empathy level and human interaction.
Yes.
So we also apply I call the program is Dana Good Meet. I applied that one that I asked the programmer because they only working with the laptop, right? So I asked the programmer, the engineers to involve in the market and social activities. So I'll send them into the remote area to meet with the
Yes.
woman from the SME and then from the household and everything, so they can do the interactions and talk directly to the user. So meaning from there they can build their empathy levels and understanding the product more, and of course the human interaction as well. So they can think that their job, their work, their coding and programs can give the social impact to the society.
Yeah, great. Because obviously high tech plus human touch is
Yeah.
what's thank you. Great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, Kai, Fides, and Tina, at the beginning, we've talked about the talent economy, right? And we've talked about the fact that, companies need to win in this brave new world of work, right? If there is one piece of advice that you would like to give your stakeholders, mainly your could be your clients, could be your board, could be your bosses, could be your peers in the management team. If there's one piece of advice that you would like to give them, right, in order for us to win in this economy and really fulfill the promise of an employee experience that enables competent, committed people that contributes business value, what would be that one piece of advice? Perhaps we'll start with Fides and then Kai.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Mon. So, one piece of advice, it's really be brave. Be brave, have brave talent, brave organization, and brave leaders. So, brave talent, deliver talent innovations. define that the talent management experience is something that matter most to the employees. So if I may just go back to competence, commitment, and contribution. Competence, create that playground where they can unleash their highest potential. Commitment to a yes workforce, committed workforce where there is a hot culture, honest, open, trusting, and transparent. And contribution, bring out the pride in their purpose. It's transcending to a heroic purpose of serving others. And for the organization, create the right organization, weave the employee experience and customer experience together that focuses on digital transformation that matters most, not only to the employees, but ultimately to the stakeholders and customers. And last but not least is to have brave leaders who see potential in people and processes and have the guts and the courage to develop them. So it's all about alignment, it's all about consistency, customer experience, employee experience, and the core values that will create a business that will succeed in the marketplace. So that's it, Mon. Thank you.
So thank you, Fides. That really electrified me, right? So bravery, I think that's the key word. Courage, right? Determination to place people first, for HR to be in the boardroom, to be a voice, right? To be influential. Thank you, Fides.
Thank you.
Now let's listen to Kai.
Thank you, Mon. Echoing Fides, no, but if there's one thing I really would always tell my team, and I always go back to Mon, it's about purpose. So I always say to the team, in everything that you do, you always have to go back to what is the purpose of the company, what is your personal purpose, and what is your personal vision. Because in Asticom alone, our purpose is improving people's lives. So as simple as that, if you say you want to improve people's lives every single day in everything that you do, whether you're hiring, you're training, you're supporting customers, whatever you do, you always go back to that purpose. And align with what Fides was saying earlier, that purpose guides every single member of the organization, may it be HR, the CEO, a staff level, in identifying what that clear vision and purpose is, which leads to transparency, honesty, and most importantly, inspiration. With that leadership team giving that clear purpose and vision, it creates a positive environment and flexible working environment that is fair and inclusive that now helps us develop talents and allows mobility. I like what Fides was saying about empathy. I always say to the group during the pandemic, right? It made us more compassionate as leaders. We need to be compassionate leaders moving forward, thinking about not just only the business, but also the most important asset of the business, which is our people. And I always go back to the technology is always there to support us. We have the best technology, but if we don't have a clear vision and purpose for the organization, that employee experience will not be aligned to whatever we want to do moving forward.
Thank you, Kai. So that's a great point about having that purpose, right, and making sure that everyone knows their personal purpose that is aligned with the organizational purpose, right? So, of course, it will not be complete if we don't hear from Tina. Tina?
Yes. For me, I think I will using one word is about the high tech and high touch. Because in a startup company, of course, we want to have a really a scalability, volume, and everything to use the right technology and the really new technology. But we understand the because of tech company, but we cannot forget that the all those things, the result is driven by the people itself. So high tech, how we use the right technology in the right situations, and but we need to also focus on the high touch, meaning that the people matters, people first, because the people can drive the result. So for the shareholder, for the all the high level things, I think we are in the technology era, but don't forget that as an technology is equipped to support and make sure that we are working well, but the most important is how the people work in a good manner and in the effective way.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very much, Tina. Yeah, so again, for companies to have a competitive advantage, it's got to be a combination of technology and the people side, right? And of course, supported by robust processes, high tech, human touch, robust processes that would provide value, right, to companies for them to win in this new talent economy. Thank you very much. You ladies are just plain amazing. And for me, the key takeaway really is we've got to place people and talent first, right? We've got to take risk. We've got to be courageous. We've got to push, right, the people agenda to ensure an employee experience that serves the needs and requirements of the entire workforce, and at the same time providing room to make sure that we know our employees and that we customize and tweak those experiences. And of course, we can't do all that if we don't have a technology platform that is able to really personalize, right, those experiences. And by doing so, we would get to win in this new talent economy. And once we win the in this talent economy, our businesses will not only survive, it will thrive and it will prosper. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Mon. I could not have asked more on this session. Augustina, Fides, and Kai, what an interesting session. Thank you so very much. Indeed, the focus on a hyper personalized employee experience will help organizations steer successfully through the war of talents. Thank you so much. Now, it's time for the most awaited session of the conference. We have Jason Everbook, CEO of LeapGen, and Sandeep Chaudhary, CEO of PeopleStrong, who will be joining us for a fireside chat on building a talent operating system for modern enterprises in the talent economy. See you there.